annoying. Bunch of goofs. A triple threat, the three Sailor Stooges.
Moon Podcast Escalation! Everyone, my name is Jordan D. White.
My name is Chris Sims, and this is Sailor Business. It's the podcast where we sit down with a friend and watch every episode of the classic 1992 Sailor Moon anime and break it down to talk about just why it is that we love this show so much. And look.
Oh, man.
I know I say it a lot. Jordan, you get on me for saying it a lot.
Yes. But this time you're right.
We're on such a good run of episodes. Like the whole Rainbow Crystal saga is like really great. Mm-hmm. But like this is one of the best, funniest, most well animated, like just purely enjoyable episodes. We are watching, what is this? Is this 30? 31?
31.
Episode 31. Loved and Chased, Luna's Worst Day Ever. Jordan, what is our American title?
Kitty Chaos.
Appropriate.
Mm-hmm. This is absolutely one of the best episodes of the show ever. It's so funny. It's so bananas. I can't wait to talk about it.
It's bonkers. But to join us to talk about it, we have someone that I'm very excited to have on the show. Someone who was very receptive when I emailed and said, "Hey, do you like talking about Sailor Moon?" We have Amanda Meadows, the editor of the Devastator Quarterly, an amazing comedy magazine that I'm a huge fan of. Amanda, welcome to the show. Welcome to Sailor Business.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Jordan. Thanks for having me. I gotta say, just first off, I feel so lucky that this is my episode. This is the best. I love this episode so much.
Like, I am surprised that when we always ask people who've been on the show, we're always like, "Hey, is there a specific episode that you want to come back for?" And I have consistently been shocked that nobody was like, "Yeah, I want to come back for the one with Luna's boyfriend, Luna's giant fat boyfriend."
This episode has everything.
Yeah,
it's great.
I want to come back for the one where Sailor Jupiter just stares at Sailor Mercury's underwear for like
I knew you would
3 minutes.
Talk about that. I knew that would come up.
Yeah, it's good, like, because look, that scene is great for a variety of reasons, but mainly because Makoto and Amy are destined lovers. They're a cute couple, and I love them. But look, we will get into that in a little bit. Amanda, why don't we start with talking to you about your history with Sailor Moon? Because when I emailed you and I said, "Hey, do you I don't know if you like Sailor Moon. I know that there was the otaku-themed issue of the Devastator, but if you want to talk about Sailor Moon, I have this podcast," and you were like, "This is what I've been waiting for my entire life."
Yes, I definitely was. I was not afraid to intimate that. So yeah, the second I saw Sailor Moon, obsessed. I just always was a sucker for the magical girl genre in general. But I was in love with Gem when I was like in preschool, and it's a terrible show. But
okay, let's not go crazy here. Come on.
Listen, it's my 50 Shades. So the second I saw Sailor Moon, I loved it. I saw the dub, so it had like the opening sequence with like the weird middle school girl chorus that's singing the song. Mm-hmm. Never go back on friends. It's so good.
That's actually a really great impression of that song, which I own on CD. I own the album.
Me too.
Right. I grew up in Orange County, California, and kind of like you, Chris, the show was on really erratically. Like, it was never sequential. They showed it in the morning and afternoons. So it was like impossible to see it in order. So I saw it all mixed up. I just loved it. And I think it was like 4th or 6th grade that I watched it the most. And then it kind of went away. And then when I was like probably a little too old to be watching it, like middle school or early high school, it came back on in like a pack with Pokemon. So I just watched both. There were days where I just didn't go to school and just watched Sailor Moon and Pokemon. Still super into both. And then so an embarrassing anecdote, in 5th grade, I tried to get all my friends to dress as Sailor Scouts with me for Halloween. None of them wanted to. I don't know why. I don't know. In retrospect, they were garbage friends, but I really want to do it. After school, I tried to get them to watch Sailor Moon with me. They're like, "Oh, it's cute. I want to watch JTT." I know, it's rough. I was dealing with some like your textbook basic bitches in 5th grade, and so I even like went so far as to make a quiz. I made a quiz for us to fill out so it was more fair who got which Sailor Scout. Because it's like, so if you don't know what I look like, I'm black. I was the only fucking black kid in school forever. I felt more like Sailor Jupiter, but I wanted to make sure everybody picked a Sailor Scout based on their personality. I wanted to be fair. So it was the lamest quiz. It was really bad. I was the lamest. And they didn't want to do it with me. I think part of it was that it was expensive. But now it's super easy. Now it's like the easiest it's ever been to cosplay as Sailor Moon. And no one will ever make fun of you. They give you hugs when you do. It's the best. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it one of these days.
Yeah?
Maybe this. I think so.
That's great.
Yeah. Oh, God. So yeah, like when just thinking about Sailor Moon, I just go back to being like 11.
That's really interesting to me that you were the only one of your friends who watched it, really. Like I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it that way. We often will hear stories about people fighting over which scout they are, and like they all have a group and this and that. But yeah, I haven't heard a lot of people say they were the only one.
There weren't like a lot of like outwardly geeky kids that I went to school with. It wasn't until like high school that I met like the weird kids who were into like still into anime and watch Monty Python and stuff like that. So it was just lame. Like they were just not into Sailor Moon. You would fight over which Spice Girl they were, but not Sailor Moon.
Okay, well look.
So that's what I'm dealing with. That's what I was up against.
Spice World is like, there might have to be a special Sailor Business episode where we watch Spice World and compare it to Sailor Moon.
That's the episode I want to come back for.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on board for that too. The Spice Girls, I love.
That's gonna be our next podcast, Spice Business.
We go over every song. What?
We go over every song.
Historical overview of the spice trade and imperialism.
And then we'll have a crossover episode called "When Two Become One."
Oh,
and that'll be what we do.
To become one.
I feel like this is going to be a very musical episode.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be singing a lot.
I have, if people listen to the War Rocket Ajax podcast that I co-host with Matt Wilson, you know that I am a singer. I like to sing on the show, but I think I've restrained myself mostly on this show. So Amanda, was Jupiter always your favorite? Was she the one that you identified with the most?
Yeah, for sure. Like my favorite is usually the one I identify with the most for like anything. Sailor Jupiter all the way. You know, I'm 100% what I think someone would call a sensitive tomboy, through and through. And I just like, I liked her go get 'em attitude. Like in this episode, even she just gets Luna. Like Mercury like throws bubbles and Jupiter is just like, I'm gonna get Luna. I'm gonna be the one who leaves. So I always like that. I'd say my second favorite character is Luna.
Luna is pretty.
Luna's
we
the
always
best.
ask what scout people like the most, but we never really talk about people whose favorite character is Luna. Because I don't like, if you're a kid when you're watching this show, your favorite is not going to be Luna.
yeah, sure.
No, for sure
Especially
not.
old British nanny Luna. Like, but as an adult, like you sympathize with Luna so much more as an adult. Like I talked about how Luna's frustrations with dealing with children are so relatable to me in my 30s.
Amazing. Yes, it's great. It's like, God, I'm wrangling cats here.
And like, especially in this episode, which this is the the only time that we've gotten a spotlight for Luna, really. And I said that's the best thing about the Rainbow Crystal Saga is that they're all spotlight episodes, and they're all spotlight episodes that are on either new characters like Makoto or secondary characters. Like we get the Motoki spotlight, we get the Naru spotlight, we get the Luna spotlight, which is, it's a weird thing for them to do before the entire cast is assembled. assembled. Like we've got one more Sailor Scout to go before we get the crew that we're stuck with for a while.
Right.
But it really helps flesh out the story and kind of flesh out these characters in a way that's super fun, especially in this episode. Like I loved the episode that we talked about with Motoki and his girlfriend, with Andrew and his lady friend who is going to have Skype him from Nairobi. But this episode, oh my gosh, it's so great. It's perfect.
It really is.
So romantic, but also frightening.
Well, it's look, let's just go ahead and get into it.
Well, let me just say about that, about how great it is. I missed this episode when I was young watching the show. It aired, but I just somehow never saw it. And so I saw it for the first time when I did when I watched the entire series about 5 years ago, and I was watching all the original dubs. So I never watched the Japanese one. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, like how did I miss this episode? This is the best episode of the show. It's so funny. It's so amazing. Now, in prepping for the podcast today, I watched the dub and the original DEEK translation, and the Japanese version is so much better. I couldn't even believe it.
Definitely.
I loved the dub. As soon as I saw the dub of this episode, I was like, that's the best episode. And then I watched the original. I'm like, that is way better. That is even better. So yeah, this is a great one.
Yeah, but like the dub of this episode, and again, I have not watched it in several years, but like I certainly remember it being pretty high quality. Like
it is.
They certainly like did it surprise you to find out that he is called Rhett Butler in Japanese?
Oh yes, I was shocked because he's Hercules in the dub. I was super shocked at Rhett Butler, but you know what? They just don't. There's a lot of details they don't get right in the even though like the awesomeness of the episode shines through, but just some of the details and the tone. Quick example. Well, I don't want to spoil it. You know what? I'll bring it up later. I'll bring them up later. But trust me, if you're going to watch the show, watch the Japanese original version. It's so good.
All right. So, which you can watch on Hulu if you're the kind of person who likes to watch along with us. I would say like this could be your first episode of Sailor Moon, and I think you like it's one of those where I think it's so weird that it stops being weird.
Yeah.
Like
okay, I'll go with that because it's weird in every aspect. There's like no normal scenes.
It's true. Every scene is a crazy moment.
Yeah, and it's like it's not like the the Monster House episode that I really like, where it's just like it has nothing to do with the rest of the show. I am the only one who thinks you can actually watch that one and be okay.
Yeah, you're wrong.
But like this one, you're gonna get like there's all the character stuff you need about the Scouts, all the character stuff you need about Luna, and just everything that is happening is completely bonkers.
From moment
100%.
one.
From moment one, like from the
intro.
from the like the teaser at the start of the episode, where in the Japanese version, instead of saying "in the name of the moon," Usagi says "in the name of the SPCA."
Yeah.
She's gonna punish you. Like it's like they're letting you know right up front this is gonna be a weird one. So definitely, we're not even waiting for final thoughts to talk about this. You will want to watch this. So even before we get to the episode, we start off with the teaser where Usagi says that autumn is the season of love for all creatures.
Now that's an interesting
which is
thing.
not true.
Yeah.
Which is completely wrong.
Which
It's
is
spring.
Like we all know this. It is spring.
Is this
He said something, she needs it.
Is this like a Japanese cultural thing, or is she just being dumb?
No, I'm pretty sure it's like that over there too.
I would
Like, where
imagine.
it's-
Well, I mean, I know science is like that over there. I just meant like. Although, wait, is this one? No, I don't know. I don't know why she would say that.
It just doesn't make any sense. We're not in the like southern hemisphere. And like, I mean, spring is when the sakura bloom. Like it just everything makes more sense in the spring. But it's fine. It feels like right off the bat, it feels like a Bizarro episode. Like everything feels like the opposite of what should be happening, but you're okay with it. It starts with screams. It's like just screams and loud meowing.
Well, for Usagi, everything is the season of love.
Aw.
Every season.
Yes, that's
winter is the season of love. May, like October is the month of scary love. She says that everything falls in love in autumn, including earthworms, crickets, water spiders, and Ray. Which, that is a sick burn.
Yep.
Burn.
Now, Amanda, if you've listened to the show before, you know that we have a relatively low opinion of Ray.
Yes.
But yeah.
As deserved.
Yeah.
So then, like, even just seeing the scenes that are in the teaser are, like, bonkers. But then we get our introduction. And for those of you who may just be joining us, our heroine is Usagi Tsukino. She's 14 years old. Her birthday is June 30th. So clear your calendars. We are going to have a party. It's going to be great. She is secretly, in addition to being a Cancer whose blood type is O, she is secretly the pretty guardian Sailor Moon, and she is trying to get the legendary silver crystal before the bad guys do. In order to do that, of course, they need to find the 7 rainbow crystals that make up the legendary silver crystal. The rainbow crystals being an invention of the anime to give us 7 more episodes and let them do completely weird shit like this. So there are 3 factions currently hunting for the rainbow crystals. The Dark Kingdom, led by Queen Beryl, has Zoisite is on the case. Zoisite and Kunzite looking for those rainbow crystals. There's Tuxedo Mask, whose dreams are compelling him to search for the rainbow crystals. And there are, of course, the Sailor Scouts. You have Sailor Moon, who's Usagi Tsukino. You have Sailor Mercury, Ami Mizuno, the kind-hearted girl genius. You have Sailor Mars, Rei Hino, the hot-headed psychic. And you have Sailor Jupiter, Makoto Kino, who is amazing, who is the best, who is basically Sailor Mercury's girlfriend.
No, not
at this
accurate.
point.
Okay, well.
Yes, that's completely accurate. Completely accurate, Jordan.
I'm getting those vibes.
Now, the rainbow crystals have gone to what are we? This is our last one, right? This Are you sure? Like, I thought it was a little more evenly split than that. But I know Zoisite got away with the one in the last episode that we talked about. So maybe it is. Maybe the Dark Kingdom's got most of them. I mean, that would make sense. They're the bad guys. They have to be like in possession of them for the story. So with that in place, now the rainbow crystals are hidden in people.
Yeah, I was
monsters. The rainbow crystals are hidden in monsters. The monsters are hidden in people.
Yeah, I was trying to explain that to a friend who had never seen the show. I was rewatching with my wife the last 2 episodes we watched. And a friend of ours watched with them, and I was trying to explain that. It's so complicated and confusing.
It is needlessly complicated. There's 7. What are the 7 legendary monsters? 7 great beasts.
Yeah, a long time ago there were 7 monsters. A crystal broke up into 7 pieces and somehow stopped them by.
I feel like they were sealed in the crystals, maybe. Like,
but then somehow that got switched around. Now the crystals are in the monsters.
Then all the monsters went to Earth and were reborn. So we've had there are up to now people that have turned into monsters.
I don't know. Why would you say it like that? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's so weird that I would specify that up to now it has all been human beings, which is weird. Like, given what we're going to find out. So yes, as Amanda said, screams. Just screams and meowing in the streets of Tokyo is how we open.
It's such a crazy opening for the episode, too. Like, they were like, we want you to know this is going to be nuts from second one. We're not going to explain any of this. You're just going to come in to Luna being chased by a billion cats.
Yeah.
So many cats. And they were all so menacing looking.
They've all got
oh my God.
They've all got these super sharp teeth. There's one little one that has like a piranha mouth that is just chewing on Luna's tail.
That's so gross.
Here's what I don't understand. And also, these cats are very well organized. Like, there's a leader of these cats.
Yeah, which has been myth busted, by the way. You cannot hurt cats, even when they're led by strong or hormonal urges. It's not possible.
Okay. Luna.
So another point for the Bizarro universe.
Luna is a cat, but Luna is also a people. This is also something that's complicated. Luna's a cat, but she is, at best, a talking cat from outer space.
Yeah.
She's a yakety yak cat from outer space.
Well, at worst, I would say, yeah.
Well, but she might also be a people who is just in the body of a cat. I don't know how that works. We'll get to that when we get to the movies. But Luna is a sapient creature.
Yes.
She has dreams and aspirations.
She can talk, she can reason.
She can talk, she can read, she can use a computer. My favorite
is when she uses a computer.
Yeah, it's so
it's the most adorable thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I say that as I don't even like cats, and it's adorable. Maybe this episode's why I don't like cats, because I used to when I was a kid.
But
maybe like I saw this episode when I was
scared you out of it.
It got me.
This episode should make you love cats even more. These are the best. I mean, not the bad guys.
Giant fat cats.
Yeah, Rhett Butler. Wouldn't he be your favorite cat? Like,
Wait,
if you want to go Rhett Butler, Chris.
Wait, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. Okay. So
Okay.
what I'm saying is Luna's not really a cat. Like, she is and she isn't.
She should have these cats beat, is what you're saying. A
Well,
bunch
I'm
of
also
dumb
saying, like,
cats. She should be able to get away from them.
What I'm trying to figure out is this just a thing that happens with cats in big cities?
Well,
Like-
okay. So, I mean, semi-spoiler, she reveals later that what is happening is she somehow got caught in the middle of a cat turf war of stray
gang war.
cats. Yeah, basically.
Cats are organized into gangs. Can you count suckers?
I didn't really see different, like, distinct teams, though.
Well, I think
like
it's just
one big swarm.
they just see that she's flashing the black fur colors, I guess, and they go after her. I don't know. Like, I think this is all one gang, and they just assume she's on a rival gang.
She's got that bald spot. Yeah. AKA the golden moon on her head.
So she
yeah,
is trapped.
She's being chased by so many cats. It's like 100 cats.
And they all have, like, what's the James Bond villain teeth? Like, that's what I think.
Jaws.
Yeah, they all have Jaws teeth.
They'll have Richard Keel teeth. They corner her up against a wall, which, by the way, you can't corner a cat against a wall.
Right.
Cats jump real high.
Yeah.
So one of the cats, who is Garfield colored, he is shown in anime Garfield, starts advancing on Luna, and then, like, again,
Deploy claw attack.
right away this episode, a fishbone comes down, sticks in the ground like Tuxedo Mask's Rose.
Yep. And
That he
they
always throws when Sailor Moon is in trouble.
And they play the
start
music.
playing Tuxedo Mask's music.
do 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 do.
So, like, at this point, I'm expecting, like, a sexy Heathcliff.
Yeah.
Like sexier than Heathcliff. you mean?
Right,
Yeah,
sexier.
Better put.
So
Hard to imagine.
what we get though is like I love the way he's drawn in this scene because he honest to God looks like the Dark Knight Returns. Like it honestly like he's this old like super like bulky cat that's all in shadow, and then it fades in and we see this like it's so great.
It's so good.
Because like it's not he doesn't even have smooth outlines.
Yeah.
Like this was very obviously we can draw this one freehand.
Big, fat, blue.
Blue green.
Yeah, like a greenish blue, yeah.
For no reason. Is it in the dub? At some point in one of the two episodes that I watched of it, they refer to him as white, and I went, "What?"
Yeah,
That's
no.
crazy. He is 70s bathtub color. Like that.
He's the color of the of room 237 bathroom in The Shining.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is Rhett Butler, and there's an amazing shot of Luna looking up at her savior. Like, and she's got like these wide eyes, like, who is this coming to my rescue? And then she sees that it's this like old, ugly cat, like old, like super fat,
Yeah.
like it is watermelon sized. And she's like, "Oh no, that cat's ugly." It's like, Luna, don't be a jerk.
But he has successfully intimidated the entire gang of cats who look up at him and then back away in
I don't
reverse.
think cats can walk backwards.
I don't think they. Well, maybe for a second, but I don't think they could quite do quite a reverse march like these guys all do.
Like en masse in a narrow alleyway. Backwards for many feet.
One of those great
important
things
is
where
that-
they can make a great joke out of cheap animation.
What's important
Yes.
is that these cats know not to fuck with Hercules,
Yes, well,
aka Rhett Butler. We don't know his name yet.
Yeah.
So Luna still has the one little tiny piranha cat attached to her tail, which gets off her tail. It kind of like flashes its metal teeth and leaves. And then like Luna's like, "Oh, that feels good. What's going on?" And then she turns around and the big fat green cat is licking her wounds.
yeah, which her tail, the end of her tail is like a giant red bulb, like enormous because it's so
Yeah.
sore.
The fur has been chewed off of her tail.
It looks so painful.
It really does. And he's licking
at this
it.
point, it momentarily turns into a Pepe Le Pew cartoon. The big fat cat gets real close up on Luna, and Luna is sweating about it. Which, see, here's my thing: Luna's not a cat, right?
But
Like,
she is.
If Luna is a talking cat, it is okay for her to be in a relationship.
No.
To have another cat want to have cat sex with her.
No.
If Luna is a people, none of this is okay.
No, this is what it is.
Okay,
Oh, no,
okay.
go ahead. You first. You first.
Well, I was just going to add to Chris's question, like, how does the biology here work? You know, like, does the cat biology like overpower her human sentience? You know, in a situation like this?
I think here's what it is. Luna is, I think Luna is a talking cat, really. And I think she probably comes from a place where all the cats are smart and talking. And so if she were to be in a relationship with another talking cat, that would be sensible and be okay. But for her to be in a relationship with a non-intelligent, non-talking cat would be weird and creepy, like as if, I don't know, there's no example. As if there were a non-intelligent human race that you could go and be like, oh, they don't
Like,
talk or understand anything, but I'll just take this one as my wife. Like, that would be weird.
Well, the thing is about Luna is Luna's also from 1,000 years in the future, right? Or
No, she's
Luna's
from the
1,000 years in the
past,
past.
yeah.
Oh, this is so confusing. Oh. So,
This is
but
the kind of shit I can't remember. Comedy person. I like the glossary, broad strokes of things, especially anime. The like complicated mythology, I just ignore.
this episode,
Great talking cat stuff.
this episode doesn't do the thing that a lot of shows do when they focus on the pets, right? Like, because there's never, like, the cats in this episode, except for Luna, do not talk.
No.
They do not even have, like, cat language. They don't really even, like, have meowing conversations at each other. Rhett Butler, which by the we find out that the big green cat's name is Rhett Butler, or Hercules in the American version, which,
Why
by
is
the
he
way,
called Hercules in the American version? It doesn't make sense.
because no
there's
child
something
would,
about the wind.
no 6-year-old child would name her cat Rhett Butler, is why.
Well, in addition, I don't think most children in America would get the Rhett Butler reference. And I don't know that the Japanese ones did either, but
Right.
I mean, Hercules.
That's what's so funny.
Right. Hercules makes more sense in a literal level because you go, because Luna's like, that fat cat is named Hercules. But then by the end of the episode, she's like, yeah, he is kind of a Hercules because he's he's pretty cool.
And it's like, it's like,
it is-
you can play it off like the cat is like Kingpin. Like, oh, well, maybe he's really strong. Maybe it's not fat. It's muscle. It's fat. Like with Rhett Butler, it's just like a purely ironic thing
Yeah.
where it's like, yeah, like Rhett Butler, he's so handsome and rich. This cat's ugly and stupid.
I just love all of the cinematic Gone with the Wind visual references in this episode too. So like the thematically it's so lovely. I love that in the Japanese version there's so much Gone with the Wind stuff in it.
There is.
And I also like that the cat's name is Rhett Butler. It is not Rhett. The cat is never
Nope.
referred to as Rhett. Its
Right.
name is Rhett Butler.
Do you know?
Full name.
Do you know what
Every
the
time.
little girl's name is? Who comes by and picks him up?
Is it Scarlet?
No, her name is where'd it go? Her name is Anne, but her last name is Ohara.
Really?
Yes,
Oh boy. Oh boy.
the Japanese,
Ohara.
and it's the Japanese Ohara, as in like they do it in like Japanese letter, but
Right.
it's the same as O'Hara.
They love their
so
cross
great.
language puns. I should say that the director of this episode, Kunihiko Ikuhara, was the director for the Friendship Through Anime episode too,
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
which is another one that has a lot of really great animation, and another one that we also I think really really liked. But yeah, so we meet An O'Hara. Oh brother. We meet An O'Hara, who is Rhett Butler's owner.
Yep, and she calls out to him, and he goes and gets hugged by her.
Yeah, and this is where Luna's like, he doesn't look like a Rhett Butler. It's like, now, also, An is a child. Rhett Butler's head is as large as hers.
Oh yeah,
It's just huge.
Yeah, there's an amazing scene where they are hugging each other. Now, while they are hugging each other, this is very important. Zoocyte has her, interocitor from this island Earth. Or I guess his, excuse me. Now I'm
Yep.
doing it, Jordan. You got me doing it.
it's not my fault. It's Deke brainwashing me.
We haven't like, I mean, we've referenced this on the show before, but have we ever, like, for anyone who's a new listener, I don't know if we've ever made it clear. Zoocyte was written and voiced as a woman in the American version, in the Deke dub.
Right.
Specifically because Zoocyte, who was originally a man, is in a very clearly romantic relationship with Kunzite, or Malachite, who is also a man. So, because Zoocyte has, long hair and a sharp chin, and it's a very easy transition to make.
Yeah.
To just going like, okay, just get a lady to voice that. Just voice the character.
Yeah, it was.
So
it was totally convincing.
That is why we are always referring to Zoocyte by multiple pronouns. We do not mean to misgender Zoocyte.
Yeah, we've been confused.
Zoocyte is watching from the Dark Kingdom because he has he has that crystal that Nephrite made.
The dark crystal.
It's going to show him, the dark crystal. It's going to show him who has the rainbow crystals. So he looks and he sees An and Rhett Butler, and he goes, "Oh, it has to be that child," because 6 out of the 7 of these things have been in people.
Right. What's different here? I don't understand.
Yeah, what could possibly be different here? Like, I don't know. So Luna goes and dips her tail into the fountain and is sitting there with Amy, which kind of reinforces my theory that, like, Luna does not hang out with Usagi when she doesn't need to.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, Luna and Usagi are roommates, but they don't hang out.
Clear boundaries.
And Amy says, as is typical of her, the smartest thing in the episode, which is, that was a crazy thing to get caught up in. And this is where Luna calls it a turf war between stray cats, which, again, there are, if 100 cats were running down the street, like I've been to New York. Jordan, you live in New York.
I do.
It's a big city.
Mm-hmm.
You'd say that's comparable to Tokyo, right? Mm-hmm. If you looked out your window in Manhattan,
yes.
looked out your office window in Manhattan, and you saw 100 cats running down the street. Like, not even chasing anything, but a literal 100 cats just flooding through the streets. Would you not call somebody? Would that not be unusual?
I mean, I wouldn't call the authorities. I'd probably call people to the window to look because it was crazy and amazing. Yeah, that would not be a normal everyday occurrence for me.
Yeah, 100%. I would run down there. I would tape that shit. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
You get a lot of loops on that vine.
Oh, man. Oh, can't wait. I really hope this happens to me. In LA, it's very likely. There are roving bands of all kinds of weird animals, so it'll happen.
Hundreds at a time?
Maybe, the worst I've seen a dozen raccoons on the street fighting in downtown LA, and it was the scariest thing I'd ever seen.
Okay. So that's the scariest thing you've ever seen, and it's 12 raccoons. This was 100 savage feral cats.
I'm trying to imagine what happened. I'm guessing cats. Okay, so a couple of cats maybe were hanging out, and they saw Luna.
Yeah, hanging out.
Just sleeping and stuff, like they do. And they saw Luna come into their area, and they're like, oh, what's this? And maybe they see Luna. Of course, they're not smart. Cats aren't smart. I was going to say they see Luna do, smart stuff, and they're like, whoa, this cat is real smart, and she's coming in and exploiting our area. We got to gather up all our friends and kick the crap out of her. That's all I could guess. But even that makes no sense at all.
I feel like this is a funny parallel to the cat calling video that was viral a few months ago. It feels like that. It feels like when I first saw it, it had this strong overtone of oh yeah, all these cats want to bone Luna hardcore. That's what they're in.
I mean, there's I don't even want to say this now.
No, you already started.
I don't even want to say this now.
You got to do it.
Nope.
But
train the station.
By the standards of the rest of the cats we see in this episode, Luna is very attractive.
Oh yeah, Luna's the hottest cat in town.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Because she's a sophisticated house cat, and these are all strays, man.
Yeah, look, Luna's in shape. Luna works out.
Oh man! All right, so she's talking to.
Also, I do want to say I love. I think we've talked about this on the show before. I love it when Luna does cat stuff.
Yeah,
I love it when Luna
That's so cute.
If there was an episode of Usagi using the moonstick to using the disguise pin to make a laser pointer, and just Luna getting really distracted by it, that would be the best episode ever.
Someone sent us a cartoon at one point of Luna scratching at the bathroom door when Usagi was pooping, which was pretty funny.
Hilarious.
I want that for forever. That's so adorable.
So, as Amy is like, yeah, that's fucked up, dude. Like, yeah, the cats are getting organized. Like, that's some shit we should probably look into. Usagi and Makoto show up, and they are wearing, again, super, super cute outfits. I really like Amy's. She's got like she's wearing 2 sweaters, which is hilarious. She has like on a sweater, and she has accented it with another sweater worn over her shoulders.
Okay, another reason why I loved Sailor Moon so much as a kid, I wore a lot of sweaters. I felt very good seeing other people wear sweaters and then accessorize with other sweaters.
Double sweater.
Yeah.
She's got like I guess it's a turtleneck, and then she's got like a light blue, like a red turtleneck, and then a light blue sweater on over it.
It's autumn, baby.
And some like mustard colored tights. It's very cute. It's very cute. Usagi has on a lot of turtlenecks. I think everyone's wearing a turtleneck in this scene, actually.
Yeah.
Usagi's got like a turtleneck and like a hoodie and bike shorts, which I think is, again, hilarious.
Yeah, she's got like 3 layers on top, and then she's wearing like shorts.
Yeah. And she also has her, like, again, she's got her backpack with the moonstick just shoved in the top. Like, so the moonstick is sticking out.
So you can see when it beeps.
Yeah, I guess. Like, do you think that's on purpose?
Maybe, if we're being nice.
Makoto, like red-orange, I would say it's like a blood orange color turtleneck, and then an off-the-shoulder yellow sweater and her green pleated pants that we've seen her in before. And again, this is something that I think I've talked about really liking about Makoto before. It's simultaneously like tomboyish, but also like really cute. You know,
exactly.
It's good. Rei is not there. It's Sunday, so she's off school, so she wants to go on a date.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Cut to Rei in a phone booth, calling up her boyfriend. She gets tricked.
She calls from a phone booth and gets an answering machine. It's a very 1992 scene.
Yep.
Yes.
She gets tricked by his answering machine as well. And he doesn't, it's not even like he's pulling a trick. She just apparently talks to him so little, she doesn't understand. She doesn't know what his answering machine sounds like until now.
Look, Mamoru takes a lot of dramatic pauses after everything.
Yes.
It's true. She's calling because there is a shop that has a new kind of cake called tiramisu.
It's a very unusual kind of cake.
Very unusual. You might not believe it, but she is very conscious to trends. So that's why she's calling, so they can go on this date. But Mamoru is screening his calls.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Oh, I love it.
He's
Love it so
screening.
much.
She's his girlfriend.
Kind of. He's screening his calls, but he's not even really listening. He's actually just standing outside on his balcony going, how am I going to get these crystals? Oh my God.
Ray has on like a very cute like orange blouse with like kind of poofy sleeves. It's got like poofy shoulders.
Yeah, a little bit.
Meanwhile,
too.
Chiba over here is just all seafoam. His seafoam is like his apartment is seafoam. He's got like a curtain leading out to his balcony that is a seafoam green. He is wearing a seafoam shirt with like darker green pants. It is a very green day at the Chiba household.
So
Don't get it.
How do you feel about Mamoru?
Oh gosh. He never seems very interested in Ray, and I don't know what his deal is. He acts like he's got like a chip on his shoulder, but there's nothing going on that would make you think anything's wrong with him. He's like the rush-loving townie you had a crush on the summer before junior year. Like, it's not gonna last very long. There's no future here, but you like playing the game.
Oh man, poor Mamoru.
I feel bad for him in a way.
Yeah, sure.
Do you feel bad for him because he doesn't have his memories and he is compelled to date middle schoolers?
It's like a myth for like all dudes. Like, this could happen to you.
You could date a middle school girl? I don't know if everybody wants that.
No, it's like a curse. It's like
Oh,
you're
okay.
never going to be mature enough to date someone your own age. I've met a lot of guys like that.
Okay, that I'll buy. So, speaking of middle school girls, cut back to the girls.
a great segue. That was a great segue.
Well, speaking of middle school girls, works for every scene of Sailor Moon, apparently.
It does.
So cut back to the girls, and they go, "Oh man, we haven't been able to find that last crystal. Let's Google Maps it." They just like search for it on the computer, and it goes, "Here it is."
Well, the weird thing is, Amy's using her little pocket supercomputer that she got from Luna, and when there's like a close up of her typing on it, and I freeze framed it because I wanted to see what RoboCop references were in this episode, and it's all names of people, so it's like she's going through names of people, seeing who has the rainbow crystal, but they're all Latino names. Like they're all Jorge del Bueno or Gustavo something or Carlos, what is it, Carlos Says, and then there's like Peter Dykman is in there. And I'm like, okay,
who are these people?
I have no idea. Like it seemed like that is a place that they would have put in a gag. So I feel like maybe that's people they knew.
Maybe.
Sure. If not, I wonder where they got the names. That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, like I told you, there's I think I've mentioned this on the show before, that there's the Gunsmith Cats OAV where you see the Vietnam Memorial, and the only two names you can see are Daryl Hall and John Oates. I'm pretty sure those guys made it through the Nam. So yeah, the Moonstick is not going off, so they're trying to use the computer to figure out where it is. And Lou's like, yeah, we got some data on it. And it's like, what data did you get?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
When did this?
So
maybe that's what. Maybe those cats were guarding their data.
No. It's just gibberish. They just had no way to. Again, we need to get them to the house.
Yeah, which is so weird because it, like you said, it totally works. They just
Absolutely
go, hey, where's the
works.
rainbow crystal? And it tells them exactly what. Like it gives them a street address.
Got it.
It GPSs them.
Then they go. So they go to this house. Oh, by the way, English dub ridiculousness. They go to the house, and Usagi goes, "Wait, so where's the crystal? Is it in the house?" And I was like, "Yes." What?
No, Usagi. The crystal is the house. And then it's a crossover with Hausu. Luna sees Rhett Butler in the window and promptly loses her shit. She's like, and the girls are like, "Oh, let's go in the house. Let's talk to the people there and see if what are they gonna say? Like, hi, we're 3 14-year-old girls. Do you have any weird crystals inside you right now?
Yeah, they wouldn't know.
Can I point this scepter at you and see if it beeps?"
Very popular question in all anime. By the way, always someone's got to ask someone about crystals at some point.
But yeah, so they're getting ready to go in, and Makoto's like, "Hey, let's go." And Luna's like, you guys go ahead. I got stuff to do." She does not want to go in there and see Rhett Butler. And then we get Usagi's impression of Luna.
Oh my god, it was amazing.
It is amazing, but it's like it's so weird.
It's very
She
weird.
makes her hands into the ears, and she's like pulls her eyes weird.
Yes.
And she gets whiskers on her face and makes a kitty cat mouth. It's so weird, but I love it because she's like, "Luna, this is an important mission. You must remember your duties." And it's like, oh, Usagi's been waiting for this.
He's got that saved in her for the next time Luna assassins her. That was so beautiful to see. I'd never seen that. Does that ever happen in another episode?
No.
I don't think so.
What a treat.
But Luna's response is, "I don't look that ugly."
I mean, well, it is exactly what Luna looks
Looking
like.
at the eyes was too much.
It is exactly what Luna looks like.
No, it is not.
So the scouts go inside. Luna stays outside, and then a bunch of thuggish cats
Yep.
show up. Like there's like a wall. Like they're in a neighborhood where there's like walls around all the houses, and like there are just cats like striking poses onto. Like they all show up on this wall and like strike a pose. It's like it's like, again, they are thuggish cats.
Yeah.
I do not know how to describe it.
Yeah, this is the
West Side
cat
Story.
gang.
Yeah, this is like West Side Story cats. Great.
And then there is a shot of a weird spiraling space vagina
No, that is not what it is.
with Luna freaking out because I was like, "Oh no!" But yeah, and you're right. We see the nameplate for the door, and it is Ohara. It is Karuhiko Ohara. and Mimi and Anne.
So so the girls go up to the door and they go, and the girl opens the door with the cat and says like, "Hey, how you doing?" or whatever she says. And they're like, "Hey, are your parents home?" And she's like, "No, they're not going to be home for ages. I'm an
Which you don't tell strangers that, even if they're 14-year-old girls.
I'm an unattended child, and I'm going to be alone for a very long time. And I've already opened the door, and it would be very easy for you to just come into my house," which they are going to do in a moment.
I have the door open, and I am not holding onto the handle at all because I need 2 hands to hold this giant cat.
This very fat cat. So then, by the way, guess what? Rhett Butler does exhibit monster telepathy because Rhett Butler all of a sudden realizes that Luna is in danger and runs away.
Wait, are you saying Rhett Butler might be the monster?
I mean, I don't know what would make me think that. I'm sorry. You're right.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
But he definitely exhibits
people.
He definitely exhibits monster telepathy, though, like which we've only seen in monsters and quarter monsters like Ray.
So yeah, Rhett Butler wriggles out of An's arms and runs away. An runs after him, and Rhett Butler runs down a tiny little alley, which will be the setting for, I'm going to say, the best scene in the show.
Amazing.
Because An runs down after her, and
Which, by the way, the scouts just let her go. Scouts just like, well, that ain't our problem.
Right. Well. Yeah, they're like, look, we're not her parents. Like, we're not the ones who have to tell her not to do shit like this. Like, she obviously hasn't learned anything. She'll learn from the hard way. And she does, because here's what happens. She runs down a tiny alleyway and is jumped upon by a spread eagle man from above. Zoisite jumps, arms and legs spread as wide as humanly possible. I don't know why. From above. Down on top of her. Very weird and very unpleasant.
Yeah. And gets ninja attacked. In this tiny little alley. This alley that's only wide enough for Zoisite.
Yeah.
Yeah. This episode is not for the claustrophobic, by the way.
No.
There are a lot of narrow spaces and tight shots that are like, oh God.
Now, to their credit, when the scouts hear the screams of a child, they do run after. Meanwhile, Luna is dealing with, again, another bizarrely organized army of cats.
Yeah.
There's a green one in there, so I think we're just supposed to think that the green, like, sometimes cats are green, guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes cats are green.
Sometimes they have blue eyes, sometimes they have yellow eyes, sometimes they have one of each.
So skinny Heathcliff, skinny Garfield, jumps out, and Rhett Butler, like, moves like the wind to rescue Luna, which is good because skinny Garfield shatters the pavement.
Yeah,
with his claws.
Nuts.
Leaves a giant crater.
Yeah, that cat is full of dark matter, I guess. Like, how does that happen? What was the PSI on his fall?
It's like shatters the pavement. Like there's a crater.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's not like a thing where it's like in a Looney Tunes cartoon. Like it persists for the next shot.
It stays around.
But
this is great.
Despite flipping through the air and holding Luna by the scruff of her neck in his teeth, Rhett Butler lands awkwardly and kind of teeters. And there's a great, it's such a great, the comedic timing in this episode is fantastic because he just teeters for so long and then just falls down. And then we get a real good shot of his butthole.
Yep.
Everybody.
Oh yeah.
Real good shot of the beehole.
It's just a little, they just draw the little asterisk on his backside and did not erase it for American audiences. American children were treated to the shot of the cat butthole.
You don't have to erase it if it's cat's butthole.
Is that how it works? Okay.
Yeah. If it's cat's butt, you can show anything if it's a cat.
Well, yeah, Luna is topless for most of the show.
I don't think that's actually true though. I don't know if that is true.
No, it's not.
But they land in the sewer. They land on a weirdly open manhole.
They land on a manhole and it does a thing a manhole cannot possibly do, which is like spin.
Well, they land on the manhole and it's not like on the it's not on the hole properly. They land on the cover and it's not like on the hole properly. It's like slightly askew.
Oh yeah.
Which is why they fall.
All right, maybe.
I mean, look, there's a lot lot of convenience in this episode. And again, there's a great, like, it keeps cutting back to the cats watching this, and the cats are like, what is happening?
Yeah.
No one knows what is happening in this episode.
Because it is crazy. Because there's no explanation. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you'd think maybe, is there some... At one point, when the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, is there going to be some reason that all these cats are doing this? Like, Zoisite has done something.
Like, they were in Jedi's pet store 3 episodes ago.
Sure. Or like Zoisite is like, I know that this cat or this girl who has a cat or like something. And so they've put a spell on that. No, there's none of that. It's just, this is the way cats act in this universe for this episode.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back in this tiny, like 2-foot wide alley, Zoisite has rendered a child unconscious, presumably through physical violence.
Yep.
Zoe, and then punches a child in the face. Zoisite is like, yeah, now it's time to get the rainbow crystal. Oh shit, this kid does not have a crystal inside her. God damn it, it was the cat. So this is where Zoisite realizes that he says the final great monster wasn't reborn as a human. It was a fucking cat. Which, look, I could not love this episode more. And like part of why I love this episode is that it does like, you know, like it fucks up the formula and it's always fun to do that.
Yes.
But like, it raises so many questions. Like,
it's such a funny thing to realize.
If the monsters don't have to be reborn as humans, then it is statistically unlikely that 6 out of 7 would be.
It would be like the bulk of them should be ants.
Yeah, the bulk of them should be ants. Exactly. That's the same thing I was thinking.
Or like, can they be like trees? Could it be like, oh, the monster is that patch of grass over there, I guess?
Oh yeah, weird. Is the monster that person? No, it's in a bacteria that lives in that person's lungs. Like, what are the requirements? Like, do you have to be a mammal?
Yeah, maybe.
Do you have to? I mean, look, you obviously have to live in. You have to live in fucking Tokyo.
Well, sure, of course.
Yeah, there's not a lot of globetrotting.
A certain neighborhood of Tokyo, in fact. Oh,
yeah, you have to live in the Juban district. But yeah, like, I mean, look, I'm willing to give them that they are all within a 3-block radius of each other. But if one is a cat, that raises questions this show is not prepared to answer.
And also, like you said, Grandpa is probably like, 60 years old, and this cat is probably, 10.
3, yeah, like 10 at the most.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, there's no way a cat that fat is going to live past 10. I'm sorry. Like,
Oh, jeez.
Unless it's a weird, like, like this cat is also 60 years old.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the cat is psychic. Again, we just established.
Also, that's another thing. Grandpa had a monster inside him. Grandpa had kids at one point. Like, Grandpa raised children.
That's why Ray is a fourth monster, as we know.
Okay. So, this is. But at the same time, like, this goes back to the question that we had of, like, were they these monsters 1,000 years ago? Was it a Crane Game monster 1,000 years ago who, when he was reborn, that's why Joe the Crane Game troll was like attracted to Crane games. Like there was a priest angel boxer monster that that directs this person's life. Like it really goes back to my question of, is Usagi Mr. and Mrs. Tsukino's kid? Like, if you look at her genetics, is she the product of those two people? Like, there's so many questions about this.
I mean,
because spoiler warning.
The reason I can't answer
Butler,
that. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say spoiler warning. Rhett Butler turns into a cat monster.
Right. The reason I can't answer that is because the show is so weird about visuals. Because my instinct is to say, well, she can't really be their kid because she looks identical to the way she looked 1,000 years ago. But, like I said...
Which is also identical to her mother and also identical to her daughter. Like, there is
I mean, it's similar to her daughter. But what I'm saying is, because the show is so weird about the way people look, and for all I know, the reason they look that way is because they're showing us their, like, souls. You know what I mean? In the sense that nobody recognizes Sailor Moon, even though she clearly is exactly the same as Usagi all the time. To us. So I don't know if we can trust that what we see is what is actually seen.
This There's a lot of questions I have about this. There's a lot of questions I have about Rhett Butler and his status.
And does that mean that the monster was dumb, or is Rhett Butler much smarter than he appears?
Yeah, like, well, I mean, but like the monsters, like
Some
the
of them talk
monsters have
eloquently.
not really been who? Like,
Big Flask?
Yeah, I guess.
No, dude.
guess
Big Flask,
the-
because remember, Big Flask was the one who said like all the single-celled organisms were the birth of all life in the universe, including you.
Yeah, I guess. And I guess like Peggy. Who was Peggy? Who was Peggy's monster? Do you remember?
Who's Peggy?
Like she. Yeah, Peggy the artist. I
Oh,
can't remember the
right,
Japanese name.
right, her. I can't even remember her monster now.
Peggy Jones. Yeah, well, like I guess she talks a little bit, but like
Yeah.
with
Some of them can talk, some of them don't.
Amy's boyfriend, who isn't her boyfriend, because that he's barking up the wrong tree on that one. He like his monster was like a monster. Like
Yeah.
it was like it didn't talk. Grandpa's monster didn't talk.
Yeah,
Like,
Gigi did
so
not talk.
Gigi did not talk. Gigi, like that's like it was a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, fucking the cat is a monster. the cat has a crystal inside him. So weird.
And like, what was the what Rhett Butler said when he turned into a monster? Didn't he say meow fresh?
Oh, he does.
Yes,
Well, no, that's when he
yes.
turns back.
Decoration.
When he turns
That's
back,
when
instead
he
of saying
turns back.
refresh, he says meow fresh.
And I pointed out to my wife, the weird part of that is not the meow. The weird part is that cat just said fresh, which is very unusual.
Doesn't make sense. It's a nonsense statement. But I love it. So does he have to say that every time he transforms back? I guess. I hope.
Everybody who gets turned back into a human says refresh
We
for some reason.
we have to get going. We are. I mean, again, I could talk about this episode forever, but we're very
now
far
we're
into
at
it.
the best scene ever. Now we're at
Yes.
the best scene ever because all three Sailor Senshi, all three scouts,
Quick question:
have shown up in
Did they transform? There's no transformation in this episode, is there?
There's no transformation sequence, but they have
they're just gonna
transformed.
show up.
They transformed while Luna was falling into a sewer.
Okay, awesome.
All three Senshi have shown up in the alley and are trying to get into it at the same time.
Oh yeah, they never form a single file line.
Yeah, which like
It's a Three Stooges situation.
the scouts, like we have talked about their dimensions before. We've talked about. I mean, I was about to say measurements, but that is, I mean, while technically accurate, that is not what we've discussed. Like Sailor Moon's 4'11". She's tiny. Like Makoto is bigger, but she's only 5'7", 5'6", right? 5'6".
5'7".
Like, and they're all like they're Nakao Takeuchi drawings. They're like all like they're all leg and head. Like they're super willowy and thin.
But they're trying to
Like,
do
they could-
big poses. They're trying to do their arms akimbo poses, and they can't do it.
They're trying to squeeze themselves in three abreast instead of just walking single file. And yeah, then they start doing their poses, and it's the best. Like Usagi like keeps like slapping the others in the face and like poking them in the eyes, trying to do a shakyo pose.
Yep.
Amy tries to do bubble spray, leans too far forward, and falls on her face with her ass in the air.
Yeah.
So great.
And Makoto turns bright red, and her eyes are the size of footballs, staring directly up Amy's skirt.
Now, okay, this is the one. This is 100% true, and it goes on for like 15, 20 seconds or something. Like she doesn't take her eyes off of it. It's crazy, and it's the only thing that has ever made me think maybe Chris might be right. And I knew he would latch on.
The episode where they dance together.
We haven't gotten to that one yet, and before I never thought of them as being a couple, so I never considered it. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Look. Makoto is into Amy. That's all I am saying. Because like it's not like it's just the one pose either. Like she bites her knuckle looking too. Like
Yeah, there is.
There's a change of pose looking at it.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, quick question: did that make it into the American version?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because it is. I mean, here's the thing: it is kind of subtle, and it doesn't have to be sexual. It could just be embarrassment.
It could be.
But yes, all of this scene, none of this scene gets cut.
Okay.
It's great.
So double spray is not working, which is a shame because we all know that is the ultimate power.
Yep, most powerful.
That's powerful. So Jupiter tries to do Supreme Thunder in this tiny little alley with her friend standing next to her. Like her antenna comes out and starts activating and everything. And Amy literally goes, "You are going to electrocute us all. You are going to kill us."
You're gonna murder everyone in this alleyway.
Yep.
Which is weird because, you know, we've seen them take like energy attacks before and they've been okay. Zoocyte could easily murder all three Senshi at this point, by the way. Like,
Very patient with these antics.
and Zoocyte just goes, yeah, not worth it. I'm out.
In the American version, let me see, what was it? First of all, Sailor Jupiter calls Zoisite a dweezil.
Oh man,
A dweezil.
I need to start incorporating that in my everyday language.
She calls him a dweezil.
Going to a Z-Fest today, so I'm gonna try to work that into a sentence today.
And then Zoe calls the scouts a bunch of goofs, and then also calls them the three Sailor Stooges.
Accurate.
Yep.
Okay, so Zoisite just gets away, right? What happens? I can't even remember.
Zoisite leaves.
Yeah, Zoisite just goes on
Zoisite
out.
leaves to go look for the cat, which
Right.
is weird because he teleports directly into the sewer, which I guess just following the vibes of the Dark Crystal, because like how would Zoisite know that there's a cat gang war going on? And
Yeah.
that the Luna and Rhett Butler had fallen into the sewer. But yeah, Zoisite leaves because the Rainbow Crystal's not there, and I guess he just wants to go get it, leaving the scouts in care of this child who has just gotten punched in the face. So Zoisite shows up in the sewer, and he's like, "Oh, why is this smell so bad here?"
That's right.
And Zoisite goes, "This is why I hate non-human monsters." And it's like, motherfucker, there hasn't been a non-human monster yet. You can't say, "Oh, this is why I hate it."
They
This is
always end up in the sewers.
Always end up in the sewers.
Zoisite then, so she hates the smell, he hates the smell, steps boot first into raw sewage, and then dramatically turns to the camera and goes, "This might be Zoisite's most difficult challenge yet."
So great. Me, the protagonist of this story.
Oh, so great.
This might be my hardest challenge yet. Let's see how I do.
And we are only halfway through this episode.
I know.
BTW.
I know, that's why we got to keep going. Okay, so Luna and Rhett Butler are down in the sewers, and Luna is like, "What is this is crazy. What is going on? Oh my God, you got hurt. How did you get hurt? You get hurt saving me?" And Rhett Butler says nothing. And then she goes, "Why did you do that? Is it because you like me?" And then Rhett Butler goes, "Blush." An adorable
Turns
cat
red.
blush.
It's great. While all this is going on, the scouts are back at the O'Hara household. I can't even deal with that right now. And because they don't know that An or N doesn't have the crystal.
Right.
They think that Zoisite just left for no reason. Presumably so everyone would not get electrocuted, including An and Zoisite and all the scouts. So they go back to her house. And not noticing that the moonstick is no longer beeping, they just play video games.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, she's got the Sailor V game. I'm going to play this. I'm going to rock and roll on this Super NES real quick."
That was super fun to see, but these girls are not the best detectives.
No. And then one of my favorite scenes in the whole episode, Zoisite is crawling through what appears to be a sewer tube pipe.
This is mega gross and
so good.
horrifying.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's great, but
he leans against the wall and then goes, "Well, it feels warm and squishy. What's going on here?" The wall, every inch of this tube is made up of rats.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just it's a tube of rats.
No, I believe this.
Millions of rats.
I believe sewer rats are in hordes.
But they can't cover every inch of a surface.
Yeah, it's not like a bat cave.
I mean, it's also fucking terrifying. For real. It is horror movie. It's kind of played for laughs.
Oh, yeah.
And largely because it's Zoisite and fuck Zoisite. But it's straight horror movie shit.
It's and as he comes out of the tube, he runs. As he's running out of the tube, he's like, "A parade of rats." He calls it a parade of rats.
So Ray is walking down the street.
Ray.
successfully gotten Mamoru to go get this unusual cake called tiramisu with her. And it's actually like in the middle of this episode where everything is like goofy and wacky as shit. There's like a really cool little scene where she runs into Yuichiro, Chad, and he has the day off from the temple, I guess, because she goes, "Oh, you have the day off," and they're looking at each other, and meanwhile there's like posters behind them, like movie posters behind them of a man and a woman who are facing away from each other, like very like dramatic, like kind of romantically posed, like they're perfume ads, I think, and they're like facing each other on the street, which is like, it's a really like interesting little setup for the scene, I think. And because like Yuichiro starts asking her out, and the Japanese writing on the poster behind him says, "Now this is your chance." So
yeah, and it keeps changing.
Ray gets her.
And
What?
Ray gets her date after all.
No. He asks her out, and she's like, I don't know, like I might be busy. And then he's like, okay, fine, bye, and leaves. And then she's like, I would have liked to actually. Oh well.
And she says he's gone with the wind, I guess.
Oh. Yeah, the posters though. The
can't.
posters keep changing over the course of their conversation. It's very weird.
Yeah. So back in the sewer, that's where we get the scene where Luna's like Luna is like so fucking done with everything. Luna is like leaning, like standing on two legs, leaning against the wall.
Acting sorry. Right.
But then she sees that Rhett Butler got hurt. He got a little cut on his leg.
I did it out of order. Sorry.
She starts to think that maybe Rhett Butler, maybe she could have a romantic relationship with this cat who can't talk.
No. I don't think that's what she's thinking.
So then they start to hear a rumbling, and then they look, and out of the sewer, Zoocyte running hell-bent for leather, followed by a tidal wave of cats, still happy that he is the tidal wave of rats. So happy that he is seeing the cat. Like he still thinks he's gonna pull this one out. He still thinks he's gonna do it. And that's when Liz like, "You have a rainbow crystal?" like Red Velvet's gonna go, "Yeah."
You got me.
So they try to escape through a tiny little like hole in the wall. Red Butler can't fit because he's too fat. We get another real long shot of a cat's butthole.
It's the longest shot of a cat's butthole I think I've ever
Luna again on two legs,
jamming him in there.
Stomping him in the taint, trying to get him.
Not only stumped with like face pushed against sometimes, like head against him.
And again, this is a little tiny hole in the wall that this cat had trouble getting to.
This is the best.
Zoocyte just like curves on into it. Zoocyte,
like a snake. Just right in. So adorable.
Followed by the tidal wave of rats, or gray circles as they are drawn.
Yes. And then Zoocyte is crawling like the wind, and the cats are running. But except Rhett Butler doesn't seem to get the urgency here. He just is kind of like doo 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 doo.
Yeah, a tsunami of rats are like charging toward his asshole. That's what it looks like. It looks like they're going for his butt the way it's animated. It's amazing.
The rats overtake Zoocyte at one point, which again is fucking horrifying.
Yes.
Yeah. Zoocyte is totally, completely consumed by, well, not consumed, but like overtaken and enveloped. Yes.
By rat. So then they get out. They're in a canal where Ray is also.
Well, meanwhile, the girls back at the house finally realize that the moonstick is not going off, and they figure out the gems in the cat as well.
So Ray is at this canal, like going, "Oh, I should have gone out with Yuichiro." Yeah, you should have, Ray. Stop being mean to everybody, and maybe you'll find some love in this cruel world of ours. She sees Luna and Rhett Butler. She's like, "Who the fuck is that big, morbidly obese cat?"
But assumes that they're in love because she's like, Luna, you sly.
Luna's got a boyfriend.
Yeah,
you sly thing.
They're like after them because they don't believe they should be together. Like she assumes it's like a political thing.
The rats explode out of this like tunnel, and it is done like an explosion.
Yeah.
Like it's horrifying.
And this is like the creepiest thing in the episode, I think, which is they explode out. They smash through the two cats, knocking them on their asses, and then they grow up into like a tube-shaped pile of rats, and you find out that Zoisite has somehow like commandeered the rats as rat armor.
Yes.
Like Zoisite goes, disaster has
Oh.
disaster has turned to fortune, and then like the rats move away from her eyes, so she is looking out from this like massive body of rats. Which is this a Dark Kingdom thing? Like, I don't know what's happening.
It's so crazy. It's so weird. And then before she can strike, all of a sudden, in comes some fire. Sailor Mars has arrived. Again, we didn't get a transformation. Not a single transformation this whole episode. Fire comes in and she's like, she's all about love. She's like, I am the champion of the Lovelorn. You can't screw this up for us. About how humans deserve love, and you know what? So do animals.
Even between cats, it's still
Yeah.
love, and Luna's still going.
Love. Oh, I love that soapbox.
And
He's
Luna is
so great.
still like, again, Hercule, like Rhett Butler did get injured saving her life, and Luna's like, he is not my boyfriend. We are not together.
Right.
God damn, Luna.
So
I talked about the new dub a little bit, and I really do. I am enjoying the new dub quite a bit. I think the voices are good, but unfortunately, we don't. The new dub they've decided not to say in this episode. In the name of Mars, I'll discipline you.
yeah,
Which is the very BDSM catchphrase that Ray has. Instead, they go with chastise.
What?
Which I believe is what Amy says. I believe when Amy says it, it's in the name of Mercury, I'll chastise you. Or maybe Mars has said that before. But in the subtitles here, it is in the name of Mars, I'll discipline you.
and then this part
And
makes
then-
no sense to me because,
Yeah.
well, to me, what makes no sense is, well, first of all the rats just fall off of Zoe and they're just gone. Okay, rats are done.
There was fire.
Okay, I guess rats don't like fire. Sure.
Fire. It kind of just sloughed off of Zoisite.
Yeah.
Mega gross.
And so then Zoisite goes, I'm going to take the crystal. And for some stupid reason, Sailor Mars is like, nothing I can do about that. I can't
Yep.
use fire against this dude. Like, that won't work. Well, wait, that would work. Just shoot your fire again instead of looking confused. Oh, well.
So Zoisite uses the dark crystal to pull the violet crystal. We're done. We Roy G. Bibbed it. This is the last one. The dark crystal is out.
Oh, this is great.
And it turns Rhett Butler into a White Wolf Games character.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Werewolf the whatevering. I forget what werewolf is.
Yeah, Werewolf the Wolfening. Man, I don't know. And which it's a big werecat monster, but also it's Sailor Moon, so it's wearing jewelry.
Yep. All sorts of jewelry.
It still has a necklace and some bracelets, and
Yes, jazzy.
it's still accessorizing.
And then another amazing part, because again, what I love about these episodes is you'll have an episode where something will take half the episode is like spent on one aspect of this, and then the next episode it'll just go bing, done. And so what happens is she pulls the crystal out, and Tuxedo Mask knocks it out of her hand, grabs it, and goes thanks, bye, and leaves.
Yeah. My favorite part of it is that the rose goes I guess kind of scrapes across Zoisite's hand, and Zoisite's like, that hurts. Ow.
Yeah, that hurts.
And they're like, yep, I'm taking the crystal, farewell.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
leaves his girlfriend
Oh, yeah, that's
facing off
right.
against a cat monster.
That's true.
A giant, and Zoisite has just said, hey, there's only one of them here today. You can kill it. You can handle this.
Yeah.
Luna climbs up. There's a little slanted wall leaning down to the canal that Tuxedo Mask literally slides down. By the way, he slides down this 45-degree angled wall. He doesn't jump. It's not cool at all. He just slides. I could do this.
No.
Slides down the wall and goes, I'm taking this. Bye. Bye.
Yoink.
So Luna is there, and Luna's like, hey, listen, Rhett Butler, my friend Sailor Moon is going to be here in a minute, and she can turn you back into a regular cat. Though TBQH, I don't know why you would want to be a regular cat and not this super ripped, awesome monster that you are right now. But it turns out that, like the boy who had the crush on Amy, Rhett Butler still retains some of his love for Luna.
Yeah.
And because
She falls.
the monster still has the cut on his arm, and he catches Luna when she falls.
Yeah, she falls and he catches her. The monster actually does not do a single aggressive thing in the entire episode.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right.
It catches Luna. Go ahead.
Ray goes, they really are in love. And then they do the Gone with the Wind poster with a cat monster and a talking cat from space.
Ray's going to
great.
cry. She's like in love. She's like so moved by this. So then all of a sudden the other scouts show up and all they see is a monster has Luna and they go on the attack. Judgmental
Right.
bastards. They bubble spray. Like you said, Jupiter comes in and does this awesome slide down the wall, which apparently Chris thinks is so easy.
No.
And
Jupiter is in midair until she grabs Luna. Then she slides down the.
Oh,
down
okay.
Yeah, way more badass than Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah.
And then
Jupiter got some air on that. Like Tuxedo Mask was just like, hang on, let me.
Yeah.
Can I get down there? Okay, hang on. Okay, it's mine now.
thankfully, they don't use the kill attack. They use the heal attack, and he is healed, and it's a happy ending.
Meow fresh.
Meow fresh. Meow fresh.
Yeah, fresh.
Yeah, the thing is, Hercules, we talked about Red Butler kind of walking around really slowly and everything. The monster is still kind of slow and bored by everything. Again, it is not aggressive at all.
No.
But yeah, they turn him back into a regular cat. He goes home back to the O'Hara household, where he is swung around in the way that you can swing around a cat by holding him under the shoulders. It's really great animation. They're Usagi's like, do you want to say goodbye to your boyfriend? And Makoto refers to them as lovers.
And then Usagi says,
Great.
so hot.
It's so and that is and that's the end of it. That is the end of
Well,
our
then you do
episode.
get this really adorable shot of Luna, because Luna's like, no, none of that. And then all of a sudden you get the shot of her kind of gazing happily at the sky, and and Red Butler's face appears in the sky, and then he blushes, and then she's like, so I think no is the
I
answer.
want a
She's-
tattoo.
Another Gone with the Wind reference. The last shot of Gone with the Wind, which is funny. It's the opposite of what happens at the end of Gone with the Wind.
I want a tattoo of that shot. I want a full back piece of that of the last shot of this episode.
Oh my god, me too. I want that animation cell so badly. I want that and the rat charging toward his butthole.
Such
I can't
a
wait to get that animation cell.
I love this episode. It's so bonkers. I feel like we have a lot of questions, but maybe we can learn something from this episode. So Jordan,
Yes,
do you have the original Sailor Moon says from this episode?
I certainly do.
Yes.
Okay.
Luna's gotta be one of my very best friends, but keeping pets is more than furry hugs and cuddles. If you love your pet, you want to give him or her good nutritional food.
And make sure they get all the shots they need from your veterinarian.
And don't let them wander into the street where they can get hit by a car.
There are so many unwanted pets in the world. Talk to your parents and your animal's vet about getting your pet spayed or neutered. Luna says.
Bye-bye!
Can we take a moment and tell you how weird it is that Luna wants you to talk about getting your cat spayed or neutered?
Oh yeah.
Well, no, because she wants that because she's like, that way there'll be fewer cats to kick my ass on the streets.
So, but okay, does this mean Usagi has taken Luna to a veterinarian
No, I mean,
for shots
probably for shots.
Don't
yeah.
want to. Yeah.
and to get spayed?
No, not to get spayed. No.
Is Artemis neutered?
No, we know this for a fact.
Then
yeah.
Don't do as I say. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. Says Luna.
Because, well, no, again, Luna is talking about dumb cats. Don't let. Well, in addition, speaking of dumb cats, though, Luna says there are so many unwanted pets in the world, which I think
All
she
the stray
means.
cats.
No, stray cats are not pets. They are unwanted animals. If they're
Potential pets.
unwanted pets would be people going, oh, I hate this fucking cat that's hanging around my house all the goddamn time.
But that like Usagi. I actually think that is of all the Sailor Moon says that we've got lately.
Mm-hmm.
The weird ones about hey, we had a lot of fun with this painting monster, but there's nothing Sailor Moon about doing drugs. This one is actually the most relevant to
Sure.
the events of the episode.
Sure.
True.
Yes, your animals can get into trouble if you're not on top of that shit. What did we learn from this episode? Amanda, we will start with you. It's time for Sailor Business Says. What did you learn from this
Well,
episode?
Sailor Business says I came away with a lot of things, but especially never cock block a cat, especially if they're unspayed or neutered. Very important. Remember, rats always travel in packs of millions. can consume you at any time.
It's so weird that Tokyo was devastated by the Black Plague in the in the 1990s.
Yes. And the least interested cats also happen to be the cutest cats. Just be prepared.
Oh.
That's important to know. I mean, if you know, we're attracted to people who don't immediately repay our affection, so be patient. Also, there's always bound to be some kind of magical element in a cat. If there's something weird going on, just dig around. Also, Gone with the Wind is very important.
You learned a lot.
Every child should watch Gone with the Wind as a child, before age preferably.
Jordan, what did you learn?
I learned the best way for a grown man to take out a 6-year-old child is jumping on them spread eagled from above.
That's right. The safest, maximum coverage, also most aerodynamic.
Yeah.
I learned that it is perfectly okay to just completely judge something by its appearance. Like, if there is someone who is interested in you and you are not like immediately physically attracted to them, that person is probably garbage. And like, if they keep doing, like, even if they keep saving your life, you should like keep insisting loudly to anyone who asks that you are not together and that is not your boyfriend.
It's interesting you say that.
Yeah.
We'll see if you feel that way next episode.
Next episode. So good. Oh my God. I want to talk about that next time.
Next time.
So funny.
So yeah, final thoughts on this episode. Again, like I could not love this episode more.
Best.
It's so great. Even if you don't watch, if you listen to this show and don't watch the show, which again, I know there are people who do that. I cannot imagine living that life. Like, you should definitely go watch this episode. It's on Hulu. It's completely delightful. It's episode 31. Yeah, like so great. So much great animation. Like, us talking about it doesn't really do this episode justice. It is one of those that you need to see.
Yeah.
Because there are so many great visual gags.
Yeah, you're gonna freeze frame. You're gonna rewind a lot. It's so good.
So good.
Yeah, like so many great faces from everyone.
Yeah.
Like you saw, like all the scouts are constantly pulling faces in this. Like even in the like semi-romantic Yuichiro and Rei scene, like Rei has this weird face the entire time, like pulling this weird face. Yeah, I love this episode. Like top 3, top 1 maybe.
Yeah, it
like
might be.
So great. And I know I say that a lot, but like because we do love this show. But yeah, it's such a good episode. Amanda, what did you think?
Oh my God. Just even if you are listening to this inexplicably because you hate Sailor Moon or don't know anything about Sailor Moon, just start with this episode. It encapsulates everything that's so great about Sailor Moon. And it's also like, it's the weirdest episode. It's one of the funniest. And it's really sweet in a way that it's really unexpected. It creeps up on you. And also just, there's just so many great bits of animation. Just as like an animation fan, you would love it too. It's so good. One of my favorites, probably top 3 for sure.
Yay.
Jordan, anything to add?
Yeah, I agreed with everything being said. Love it. It's a hard episode. It's the episode to beat, basically. For best episode at this point. I think it may be my favorite of all the ones we've discussed on the show so far.
It's a filler episode, you know? It's the absolute definition of a filler episode.
100%.
But it's also like so ridiculously fun. It's so, you know, like you don't learn anything new about any of these characters in this episode. It is not even really focused on the scouts. But even like Zoisite is hilarious.
Yeah.
In this one, like it's the definition of a filler episode, and it's so good. But yeah, like I think we're all in agreement that it's a great one. Amanda, before we let you go, can you tell everyone where they can find you on the internet?
For sure. So you can find all of my stuff at devastatorpress.com. So I'm publisher and editor of Devastator Press, which is an all comedy publisher. It's we do comics, We do comedy writing. We do zines. We do funny novels. We're best known for our flagship series. It's called The Devastator. It comes out twice a year, and each one's a different theme. Most relevant to this podcast, our most recent book is all otaku. So it's all anime, manga, like Japanese snacks, obsessions with cats. It's like all like our favorite otaku things in one book. And there is also a Sailor Moon comic in it that I love a lot, in which there's a new Sailor Scout, and she doesn't get along with everyone very well. It's really great. And it was drawn by Molly Nemesek, who's really funny Canadian cartoonist. And on the other side, it's our parody of Death Note called Dick Note. And instead of killing someone, it pranks them in a fun way. It's entertaining for you to, because there's a time and a place for death. It's a little harsh for a lot of cases, And our most upcoming is All Horror. That comes out this month, actually, on the 22nd. And so